My name is Lucas. I am 30 years old. I live in a small town in Oregon called Ravenwood. It is quiet here, with green hills, old oak trees, and a few little shops. People know each other, and life seems simple. I work in technology, but my life is not as simple as it looks. I have been married to my wife, Julia, for 5 years. Julia is smart. Very smart. She has a master's degree in education. Her family is full of degrees and diplomas. Her parents both have masters. Her sister has 2 bachelor's degrees. Me? I didn't go to college. I started working right after high school. I thought that was okay. And at first, it seemed okay to everyone. When Julia and I got married, I made about $45,000 a year as a junior IT technician. Her family seemed friendly. They teased me a little about not having a degree, but it felt lighthearted. I laughed with them. I wanted to fit in. I thought maybe they were joking. But slowly, things changed. The jokes turned into comments. Small comments at first, like, "It's impressive you make that without a degree." Or, "We never thought someone without a degree could do this job." I didn't know why, but it started to hurt. A few years ago, I got a new job. Better salary, more responsibility. I made $65,000. Julia was pregnant at the time, and I was both excited and terrified. I wanted to provide for our child. I thought Julia would be happy for me. Instead, she said something I will never forget. "It feels strange that someone without a degree makes more than me," she said quietly one evening. I didn't understand. She is a teacher. She does important work. I told her, "Julia, you make a difference every day. If money mattered more, maybe you would take another job. But this is your choice." I thought that would be the end of it. But it wasn't. Apparently, Julia told her family about my new salary. And her family, they didn't keep it to themselves. Her brother complained that he had been working longer than me, and he made less. Her sister, with 2 degrees but working at a restaurant, said I was lucky. Her dad even said I should feel guilty for making more than him. It got worse each year. Bonuses, raises, promotions, they all became a reason to comment on me. Her family called me the 1% once, joking about taxes. They said someone with my limited education shouldn't earn so much. I started to feel small. Then last weekend, it all blew up. Her dad and sister came over. The conversation turned to Julia's uncle's new girlfriend. Her dad said he couldn't relate to her because she was uneducated. He said it right in front of me. Something inside me snapped. I felt 5 years of frustration rush up. I said, "So, because I didn't go to college, you have nothing to say to me either?" His smile disappeared. He stammered something about experience, but I didn't stop. I told him it was demeaning to judge people like that. I said I didn't appreciate the comments about my salary or my education. There was silence. Julia looked shocked. Her dad and sister left quietly. I felt both guilty and proud at the same time. Guilty for raising my voice, proud for standing up for myself. After they left, Julia cried. She said I was being unfair. I tried to explain that the constant comparisons, jokes, and comments from her family hurt me. I told her I wanted to protect myself and her from disrespect. She said, "Well, that is just how my dad is." I didn't know what to say. It hurt more because I loved Julia, and I wanted her to be happy for me. And yet, I felt like I couldn't win, not with her, and not with her family. I sat in the living room alone that night, thinking, was I wrong to be proud of my work? Was I wrong to take a better job? Why did I feel guilty for being successful? Something had to change. I didn't know it yet, but I knew I couldn't continue feeling small in my own life, in my own home. I had to find a way to protect myself, my marriage, and my happiness. The next few weeks were hard. Every time I saw Julia, I could see the tension in her eyes. She avoided talking about my new job, but I could feel her disappointment. It wasn't just sadness, it was something deeper, a quiet frustration that made me doubt myself. I loved her, but I couldn't understand why she couldn't be happy for me. One evening, after putting our daughter to bed, I tried to talk to her. "Julia," I said softly, "I know you were worried about money, about the difference in our salaries. But this is not about being better than you. It's about our family." She shook her head. "Lucas, it's hard. Every time I think about what your job pays, I feel small. I feel like I didn't do enough. I worked hard, went to school, and still, I make less." I wanted to comfort her. I tried to explain that I had also worked hard, maybe in a different way. "Julia, I didn't go to college. I started at the bottom and worked my way up. This isn't luck. I learned, I practiced, I took risks. Just because my path was different doesn't mean it was easier." She didn't answer. She just looked down at her hands. I could feel her pain, but it still hurt me. I started wondering if I was wrong to be proud. Maybe they were right. Maybe I didn't deserve my success. Then came the invitation. Her parents wanted to come over for dinner. I froze. I knew what would happen. Their visit always ended with judgments, comparisons, or subtle comments about me. But Julia insisted. "It's family, Lucas. Try to be patient." I agreed, but with a warning in my heart. The night of dinner, her father sat across from me. He smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "So, Lucas," he said, "how is the new job? I hear it's quite the salary. Must feel strange, no? Making more than people with real degrees." I took a deep breath. "It is a good job," I said carefully. "I worked hard to get it. And yes, I make more, but it's because of the work I did, not because I am better than anyone else." He laughed, but it wasn't kind. "Work? It's funny. My son-in-law works harder, but has no degree. My daughter, she went to school, has a career, and yet," his voice trailed off like I should feel guilty. I couldn't take it anymore. Something inside me broke. "You know," I said, trying to stay calm, "I respect education. I wish I went to college. But my success doesn't make you less, and it doesn't make me lucky. It is the result of my choices. And I won't sit here and feel bad for being able to provide for my family." The room went quiet. Her sister looked uncomfortable. Julia's mother stayed silent, her lips tight. For the first time, I saw the shock in their eyes, not anger, not judgment, just surprise. I had finally spoken up. After dinner, her father left first. He muttered something about having to think, but I didn't care. For the first time, I didn't feel small. I felt strong. But strength came with consequences. Julia cried later that night. She said I had embarrassed her family, that I was being harsh. She told me she couldn't just turn off her feelings of sadness and jealousy. I held her. "Julia, I understand. I really do. But I can't keep feeling guilty for being successful. I love you, I love our daughter, and I want us to be happy together. We need to work as a team, not tear each other down." She stayed quiet, leaning on my shoulder. I knew it would take time. We had been through a lot, and her family's words had been planted in both our minds. Doubts, insecurities, guilt, they were hard to remove. That night, I promised myself something. I would not let their judgment define me. I would prove, not to them, but to myself, that I deserve my success. And I would protect my family from the negativity that had crept into our home. But the real test was coming. A few days later, I received an offer I never expected. A position as a senior system architect at a major cloud company. The salary was $105,000 a year, plus a month of vacation. I wanted to celebrate, to tell Julia how proud I was to have reached this point. But when I told her, her reaction broke me. She cried again. "Lucas," she said, "I can't be happy for you. It feels wrong. I don't know why, but I feel hurt. You make so much, and I feel left behind." I stared at her, unsure what to say. It hurt so much, hearing someone you love not sharing your happiness. "Julia, this isn't about being better than you. It's about us, about our family, our life together. I don't want to make you feel small. I want to be honest about my work." She shook her head, tears running down her face. I know. But it's hard. I can't be happy for myself, let alone for you." I realized then that this wasn't just about money or degrees. It was about self-worth, pride, and the invisible pressure of family expectations. I had to find a way to fix it. Somehow. The tension was unbearable, but I knew one thing: I couldn't let fear or guilt stop me from moving forward. The following week, I knew I had to face it. Julia's family had a way of turning small moments into long arguments in my head. Every conversation with them felt like walking on glass. But I also realized I couldn't keep shrinking myself to fit their expectations. Not for Julia, not for my daughter, not for me. Julia and I sat at the kitchen table, our daughter asleep in her room. I took a deep breath. "Julia, I know this is hard. I know your family's opinions matter to you. But I can't keep letting their words control how I feel about myself." She looked at me, tears in her eyes. "Lucas, I don't know how to be happy for you. I feel like I failed somehow. I reached for her hand. You haven't failed. You've done amazing things. And I am proud of you. But we have to separate what's ours from what other people think. I can't feel guilty for being successful. And you shouldn't either. We are a family. That's what matters. Julia nodded slowly. I could see the struggle in her eyes, but there was a glimmer of understanding. Maybe not acceptance yet, but at least a start. The next day, her father and sister came over again. I braced myself, ready for the same old comments. They smiled, polite but tense. Her father leaned back in his chair and said, "So, Lucas, new job?" I nodded. "Yes. I'm going to be a senior system architect. It's a big opportunity." Her father's smile faded. He opened his mouth, probably to say something judgmental, but I stopped him gently. "I want to be clear," I said. "I respect your opinion, but I will not accept comments about my education, my salary, or my abilities. If you want to be part of our lives, I need you to be respectful. That's all." The room went quiet. Her sister looked down at her hands. Her father shifted in his chair. For a moment, I feared anger. But then he said, quietly, "I understand." It was a small step, but it felt huge. Finally, I wasn't shrinking to fit their expectations. I had spoken my truth. Later that night, Julia came to me. She hugged me tightly. "I'm sorry, Lucas. I didn't realize how much I let their opinions affect me, and you. I want us to be happy together. Really happy." I hugged her back, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. "Me too, Julia. This is about our family. Nothing else matters more than that." Over the next few weeks, things slowly changed. Her family learned to be more careful with their words. They still teased occasionally, but it wasn't hurtful anymore. And Julia, she started to cheer for me in little ways. Small smiles, quiet compliments, even laughing at something I did at work. Success isn't about money or degrees. It's about choosing your path, working hard, and respecting yourself. I didn't have a degree, but I had persistence, courage, and the love of my family. That mattered more than any diploma. One evening, as we sat on the porch watching the sunset, Julia leaned on my shoulder. "You know, Lucas," she said softly, "I think I finally understand. Your success doesn't take away from me. It makes our life better. And I'm proud of you." I smiled, feeling a warmth in my chest. "Thank you, Julia. That means everything to me." I knew the journey wasn't over. Doubts still crept in sometimes, and her family still had their opinions. But I also knew I could handle it. I had learned to stand my ground, to value myself, and to protect my family. And that was the most important success of all.
What would you do if you were Lucas? Stand up to the family, or stay quiet to keep peace? Share your answer in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more interesting English stories. Key vocabulary from the story are: tension, disappointed, braced, persistence, and glimmer. Tension is a feeling of stress or worry. Disappointed means you feel sad or unhappy because something didn't happen the way you hoped. Braced means you prepared yourself for something difficult or unpleasant. Persistence is when you keep trying even when things are hard. Glimmer refers to a small sign of hope or light. Lesson of the day. Opportunity. Opportunity is a chance to do something good or important. Example from the story: I'm going to be a senior system architect. It's a big opportunity. More examples. She got an opportunity to travel abroad for work. Don't miss the opportunity to learn something new every day. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share. You can watch the next story here or explore our playlist for more inspiring stories. And don't forget to subscribe. More interesting stories for learning English are coming soon.